Hi students, welcome back. In the previous class, we completed the third chapter. Today, we will start a new chapter from history, British Exploitation and Resistance. In this chapter, we will discuss about in what ways did the British rule affect the Indians and how did they respond to the British rule. The British conquered princely states using military forces and diplomatic strategies. It was during the span of 100 years between the Battle of Plassey in 1757 and the First War of Independence in 1857 that a major part of India came under the British rule. By 1857, around 63% of the regions in the Indian subcontinent had come under the direct control of the British. The rest of the regions were ruled by the native kings who had been subjugated to the British. Next, impact of the British policies. Farmers were one of the immediate victims of the British rule. It was the land revenue system implemented by the British that destroyed the backbone of the farmers. The aim of their tax policy was to maximize the income. The land revenue system implemented in various regions under the British rule was different. The important land revenue systems are: first one, permanent land revenue settlement; second one, Rayodwari system; and the third one, Mahalwari system. Next, we see the features of permanent land revenue settlement. In the permanent land revenue settlement, the tax was collected by Zamindars. Zamindar was the owner of the entire land where he had the jurisdiction to collect tax. While the Zamindars became the owners of the land, the actual farmers became tenants. Farmers were to pay up to 60% of the yield as tax. Tax was to be paid even at the time of poor yield. The tax was to be paid in cash strictly before the cut-off date. In the Rayodwari system, introduced in South India, the land revenue was collected directly from the farmers. Though ownership of land was vested with the farmers, excessive tax impoverished them. Furthermore, the tax rates were frequently increased. Next, in the Mahalwari system, the village headman was assigned the responsibility to collect tax. The tax rate was excessive in this system. The entire village, that is Mahal, was considered as a single unit for tax collection. The land revenue policies implemented by the British affected the agricultural sector when they were unable to pay tax in the form of money before the deadline. They had to take loan from money lenders at a high rate of interest. The loans were obtained by mortgaging agricultural land. The agricultural land of the farmers who could not pay back the loan and interest was seized by the money lenders. Next, commercialization of agriculture. We know traditionally the peasants in India were engaged in agriculture mainly to produce things not to meet the needs of their family and the village. During the British rule, they were compelled to cultivate crops according to the market needs. As a result, commercial crops were largely cultivated instead of food crops. This transformation is termed as commercialization of agriculture. We have seen that farmers had to pay high rate of tax in the form of cash before the deadline. To meet this, they cultivated the crops, they had higher market price. The products that had demand in the European markets were given higher price. Thus, the Indian lands became the cultivating field of Europe. The major crops that were widely cultivated in that period are indigo, cotton, sugarcane, tea, jute, and wheat. Next, review about today's topic. First, features of permanent land revenue settlement. In the permanent land revenue settlement, the tax was collected by Zamindars. Zamindar was the owner of the entire land where he had the jurisdiction to collect tax. While the Zamindars became the owners of the land, the actual farmers became tenants. Farmers were to pay up to 60% of the yield as tax. Tax was to be paid even at the time of poor yield. The tax was to be paid in cash strictly before the cut-off date. Next, Rayotwari system. In the Rayotwari system introduced in South India, the land revenue was collected directly from the farmers. Though ownership of land was vested with the farmers, the excessive tax impoverished them. Furthermore, the tax rates were frequently increased. Next is Mahalwari system. In the Mahalwari system, the village headman was assigned the responsibility to collect tax. The tax rate was excessive in this system. The entire village was considered as a single unit for tax collection. These are the important content including today's topic. Hope you all understood about today's topic. Thank you.